As you know, Geno Visconti, my betrothed, and I have been doing the Steel Toe Morning Show, filling in for, in the absence of his ex-wife, for quite some time now. And if you don't know that whole lore, then I can't explain it to you. I guess Google it. But I just have some choice words and thoughts about the situation. We are no longer doing the show. So here we go. 1, 2, and 3. Let's just get right to it. We're just going to get right to it. So it says, Geno and Keanu quit Steel Toe Morning Show. Aaron couldn't afford them. It's not at all the case. Okay. We were doing a friend a favor. And I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I feel a little bit wronged here. I feel that we were a little bit manipulated in the situation. And I will start this with saying that I believe, and I've known this from the start, Aaron put us in a very, 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 very sticky situation. That's not really what a friend does. It's not normal that, well, it's normal, but Aaron and his ex-wife, April, were both equally, we were all equally friends. So him asking us to fill in for her while all of that was going on, I think was a bit of a, he got right to us like, oh, we're getting a divorce and she's on this and da, 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 da. And we were like, anything you need, buddy. Okay. So we did the show for many months. It was always supposed to be temporary. But the way that he is framing it now is not, it's not quite right. Like he's talking about Visconti. He's going like, oh, I don't want to bother him during the merger. I don't want to bother him during this merger that's going on. False. Okay. We just weren't answering you. We saw some weird shit come out. It wasn't that I was on vacation. I still streamed with John DiCaprio. It wasn't that I was on vacation. It wasn't any of that. We just didn't know what to think, and we wanted to just wait a second before we responded to you. It has nothing to do with the merger, which you know nothing about.
Keanu and Geno were always temporary here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keanu and Geno were never in the full-time, long-term plans of Steel Toe for one main reason. I couldn't afford to let them keep coming here, and then I couldn't offer.
You couldn't afford it. We were trying to be nice to you. You put us in a very sticky situation because April was also our very good friend, but you just got to us first. You just manipulated and got right to us first, and we hadn't heard from her in fucking weeks. So we were trying to be there for you, all right? Also, you couldn't not afford it. What about the weeks where you didn't pay us? How about those weeks? And then as soon as we kind of stop answering, ching!
So what I was giving them was friend prices. They were giving me friend prices. They were working as friends.
Prices.
They were helping out basically for the transition while April left. The compound sensor thing comes.
Okay.
Then these...
Again, so he thinks that has something to do with it. Nice freeze frame. He has no fucking idea what's going on. Texts went ignored. And then finally I went... He was going, is it a merger? Is it this? Is it that? Because he wants something to talk about on his fucking show. Geno's busy. I'm busy. All right? Finally, I went, it's a merger. All right? Leave it alone. Okay? Leave it alone. That was then. But also, why do you think that we were going to give you some inside information or like, so you can just, again, spill on your show? It makes no sense. I said, between you and I, this is what it is at this time. This is what it was. Just drop it. Quit bugging us. But he's going to warp it as if, well, okay, so then this whole horrible thing comes up. And that's why they're no longer doing our show. Meanwhile, he's about to say horse shit allegations. That had nothing to do with it. Nothing at all. No, it's just because we're so busy with this compound merger. And I'm just a stay-at-home wife, and all I do is I just, I put my apron on and I just try and support my husband. Blah, blah, blah. No, fuck that. Absolutely not. Had nothing to do with me. So we're all good, homie. Had nothing to do with that. But you can't see past that, can you? No.
Horse shit allegations about me, which I can't say loud enough. Lies, incorrect. Mm-hmm. But okay. It's 2.5 years ago.
Okay, that's another thing. Horse shit allegations. The allegations are really fucking disturbing. And I would be full of fucking shit if I said that I didn't, if it's not exactly that, something fucking happened. And this motherfucker, I believe, probably knew something like this was going to come out. Might have been a nice thing to mention before you dragged us into all of this. Not to mention, I've never said a bad word about April. I love her. You're painting it and as like Nick is her this manipulative abuser. Yes. And I actually agree with that. Meanwhile, all that happened. And then he goes on to say, oh, it was 2 years ago. This all came out 2 years ago. What fucking difference does that make, man? What difference does it make? Literally none. None. So I did not take too kindly to that. Not at all.
I know my friends Geno and Keanu have my back. I also know.
Pause. After we saw that, you could tell we were ignoring you, okay? I went on John DiCaprio's show. I talked about it. I said, you put us in a really sticky fucking situation. That's not something that you should probably do. But he was right in there getting us on his side. You know what I mean? Not on his side. I was never on his side. I have always been on the side of, I want April to be okay. I want April to be okay. Do I approve of if she's still with the Ricadas, which we don't know that for sure? No, I do not approve of that. But meanwhile, this was going on. I didn't in my wildest dreams think something like this would come out. But again, he kind of call us too nice, but we were a little bit manipulated. And but we definitely saw the signs, didn't see the signs of that. But he knew this the whole time. It's lie after lie after lie. For example, okay, the day before, I remember the arrest happened, right? He calls me and says, so I have to tell you something. Me and Kayla hooked up a couple of times. I'm like, oh, okay. All right. Whatever. Our Nick and, I mean, I guess, everybody's been saying that you guys were swinging. Like, okay, why did you? And then he goes, I said, are April and Nick hooking up? He's like, not to my knowledge. No, I never saw anything like that. It only happened a couple of times with me and Kayla. All right. Cut to, he's on fucking Keno Casino going, we were wife swapping and da 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 da. Like, why even lie to me about that? It's just something always comes out. There's no trusting him. There's no fucking trusting him. Nick Ricada and April, I still stand in the exact same place I have always stood with Ricada, except I will say one thing. He was right about one thing. In those messages that Ricada sent to me, he said, I've been trying to encourage her to message you specifically. And I'm just of the mind, I'm like, I don't want you to be able to encourage her to do anything, you fucking idiot. I don't want her anywhere near you. But he was right. And I'm never going to read anything that April has sent to me. And she does not want to be talked about publicly. But I did hear from her, and I will never, ever read those to you. But I will get to that later. But no, I still stand with, sorry, culty narcissist. I still think you're a freak. But you were right about that. What else can I say? It was important. The moment I heard from her, that's all I wanted. I went, I know all I need to know. Not going to read them aloud. Not going to fucking say anything like that. Just happy to hear from my friend. And from those messages, I gathered, okay, yeah. This ain't a fucking joke.
So Geno says, I can't do steel toe.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Awesome. Cool. I understand. And honestly saw it coming. Like, I knew that wasn't going to be, like, he wasn't going to be able to do that through this censored thing and everything else. And then I talked to Keanu just to make sure, because I assume those two are a package deal.
Also, that's another thing. No, you didn't talk to me. You asked me some question. I didn't answer you over and over and over again. We had no contact until before I called you in the Dominican Republic once. And I said, I wanted sort of an explanation. Out of the kindness of my heart, I said, you know what, man? I don't know. Maybe don't address it. Don't worry about me and Geno. I didn't mean that like we have your back. I meant like, don't be, because he was texting us over and over and over again. And I said, don't worry about me and Geno. I did not ever say, like, I know you didn't do that. I had to hear his voice. I had to hear his fucking, like, explanation for it. And wasn't really cutting it for me. So I said, you know what? I don't know, man. Maybe don't address it. We hung up the phone. He goes right on his show. I feel so much better. And then he uses me as this sort of, like, female security blanket. Well, if Keanu has my back, then all women must. No, you're the exact kind of dude I fucking don't like. Exact. Okay? You're no longer to me just some like fucking like unaware dweeb. Okay? That was endearing. I'm not saying we didn't have fun times with you. But then to warp my words like that and to use me is fucked up. I mean, it's just not what I said. You misinterpreted it, or, which I don't believe that, you just fucking warped it and warped it and warped it. And I refuse to be a part of it any longer. Then he goes unanswered for, at least until I get back. And then I just said, in a text, I said, I'm sure you're aware, but I can't do your show anymore. I'm sure you understand. That's all I said. So we're not a package deal. If I thought there were any fucking truth into what that weird story you told me on the phone was, I would have still done your show.
I assume that they're, if one of them's busy and stressing the fuck out about something, the other one's busy and stressing the fuck out about something. Uh-huh. So I wrote to her and she's like, oh yeah, I know you probably assumed, but like two of us can't do the show anymore. This blah, blah. I'm not going to tell you exactly what she said.
Yeah.
But
I'll tell you exactly what I said. I think I just did.
On.
I would love to tell you exactly what I said after a million unanswered text messages, homie. It's unanswered. I said, sorry, man. I'm sure you assumed this, but I can't do your show either anymore. Because he said, never mind. I heard on his show that he isn't doing my show anymore. I understand. His seat is always open. I said, I'm sure you assume this I can do your show anymore either. Just too sticky of a situation. I think it's weighing on all of us. I'm sure you understand. Then nothing else, right? I had your back, man. I had your back. I did. I thought that you were harmless. And maybe I'm an idiot for thinking that, but I'm susceptible to manipulation too. Like, I really am. You didn't really give me an explanation. I'm not going to say what you said because I just think it's dog shit, but prove it. Prove it to us that you didn't fucking do that. Prove it.
We've had so many second mics leave under much more terrible circumstances.
What could be more terrible than you possibly headbutting your wife? What? I mean, is there more? Is there more that will be terrible? Allegedly, but come on. What could be more terrible than that? It's alleged, of course. But come on.
If I really thought that those two thought I was hi-ya, if I really had an inkling that those two thought I did that, I would
that went on a little bit too long.
And I'd never want to talk to them again. That would piss me off. That would upset me. But I know that's not what they think. So therefore, I respect their decision. I've talked to them about their decision, and I told them, guys, I understand completely, and whenever you want to come back, your seat is open. If you ever wanted to spend a Thursday on Steel Toe Kiki,
spend a Thursday on Steel Toe? Do you think I want to spend a Thursday on Steel Toe? I don't know if you... That's the thing about him, too. He can't read the room. I'm not saying I didn't enjoy doing his show. I love to shit on Nick Rekieta. I think I don't know him, but I think he's a piece of shit. However, clearly, somehow, and I hate myself for saying this, but I have to admit it because I only tell the truth. I think he's had April's back more than this motherfucker has at all. 100%.
Oh, they're not letting internet shit get to them. They're going through a fucking merger right now, and it's goddamn tragic.
Keep saying that. It's tragic. It's tragic. It's tragic. It's tragic. You don't know what's going on, homie. No clue. You have no clue.
Terrible.
So that's that. Well, I, for one, feel so much better. That's how I feel. And you're not going to use us, homie. You're not going to use Geno. You're especially not going to use me as some sort of security blanket for alleged domestic violence. Do we know that happened for sure? No. But as a person, I would be full of shit. It goes against every single thing that I basically stand for. As a person who has been abused before. If somebody didn't fucking believe me about it, I'd be really fucking upset. And because April reached out to somebody in the periphery, that also tells me, because I've been in that situation, when you're in that sort of abusive relationship, you don't always, and this is just me surmising, it's just me, it's just my opinion, you don't always reach out to the people closest to you because you're not sure you want to be out of it. Because they alienate you from the rest of the world. Do you know what I mean? And I've talked about this on fucking Aaron's show time and time and time again. And he has sat there and said nothing. So I'm not saying that it's 100% true. What I am saying is I'd be full of fucking shit.
Not true. Not true.
Thank you.
Sorry.
As I was saying, I would be full of complete and total fucking shit. No, they didn't ask about you at all. You'd be full of complete and total fucking shit. If I didn't take what I knew about this and not believe her. So, and the cope that 2 years ago, this happened 2 years ago, she laughed about it. In times of abuse, you say something to somebody and then you go, oh no, it's fine. So no bueno. Hit the like button.